Yes, welcome today. I'm John Lee with St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association, and today's Friday, August 12th, 2022. So, Lloyd, you want to say anything? Make any announcements or anything for me?
Yeah, I'm Lloyd Allender, another member of the board. Jim Choik, another board member here today. Did want to mention we do have our main event coming up this next Tuesday, the August the 16th. We're going to have Ted Drew's Frozen Custard for the first 50 people through the door. That usually brings a few folks in, but if not, we got some really great program. We got two St. Louis brothers that have been doing flipping houses in North County. They've been sharing their info on social media on what they're doing with their rehabs, and caught the eye of HGTV. And back in February, they did a pilot show for HGTV. So they're going to be they've agreed to join us on next Tuesday and share some of their experiences and what they've been doing. And looking forward to it. One of them is kind of following in their father's footsteps. He was a home rehabber, but one of them is also a contractor, and he's got a business degree and is a realtor also. And then his older brother is a actor and stand-up comedian. So kind of makes a very interesting combination. I'm sorry the HGTV didn't pick up their pilot for a whole series, but maybe they'll see the light here later on. But do they get out? Anyway, they're quite a pair. I've seen a few clips on YouTube that they've done, so I'm looking forward to it and hopefully everybody comes out and joins us next Tuesday at the Shriners facility, 6:30. Start at 6:30, and then with Ted Drews, and then 7 o'clock we'll have the McMiller brothers, Jonathan and Willie. So that's all I've got. And I guess, let's see, we got a couple weeks for, be here 2 more weeks. So 3 weeks from today, we'll have Kathy Davis or somebody from her law firm give us an update on what's going on with board systems. But other than that, we're here for haves and wants. You got something for us? Something you want to sell? Looking to buy a particular property in an area, or you got a service to offer to real estate investors, or you're looking for a service. We've swapped a lot of contractors referrals here over the last couple of years. So anybody got anything for us today? Get us kicked off.
Hey, Lloyd, this is Diana. How are you today?
Hey, glad to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm back amongst the living for a little while. I had a question. It's probably better addressed to Kathy Davis, but I thought you guys might know. How long should one hold on to old tenant files? Do you know I thought it was 2 years, but I didn't know because of, the HUD and all that stuff, like how long you should hang on to old tenant files, like selection file is tenant selection, etc. Anybody have an idea?
Well, we got David Soto on here today. I'm sure he's got a file cabinet full of them. Maybe he could give us some advice on that.
Yeah, we're a little different because we're regulated by the states. We have to keep them, oh gosh, I think it's like 7 years. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's a long time. It has nothing to do with actually it's not that long, but the states can be different than and then what the law requires. So I really can't answer that question. And ours is all electronic, and it doesn't take any room, so it doesn't go away. We pretty much have everything still since we went electronic.
So just to be on the safe side, one should hold for 7 years is what I'm hearing.
I think that's what the state statute is. I don't remember. Stacey, do you remember what that is?
Yeah, and that's a general rule for IRS records. I kind of use that as
right.
a rule of thumb for all my my records.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we've had some older, got some older than that, but I was wanting to clean some space in the filing cabinet, and I figured I'll just use the 7-year rule. That sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I've used. In fact, I've taken
And
it.
buy a new file cabinet.
Yeah, exactly. No, thanks. I don't have room to walk in the office the way it is.
That's why we're electronic. I have 0 file cabinets now.
Yeah, it's easy
Yep.
to keep electronically now. That's true.
Yeah. Some of the stuff is pretty old, and it's like it was, I think, pre-scan years. So I'm pretty safe to get rid of it. I think some of it anyway. Thanks.
Yeah, I probably got a few years. I went through my old ones a while back. I probably need to do it again. Clean out, make some more shelf space in the basement for other collectibles.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else got anything for us? Got a question? I got a good group of investors and property managers and here to field questions.
Lloyd, I wasn't able to join until somebody else comes up with something. What was the latest on the trash, local trash legislation? I wasn't able to join Kathy's meeting. I haven't listened to the recording yet either, so shame on me. But since there's a little bit of a lag.
What did we find out on that? That was I think it was a proposal in the for the city of St. Louis.
Right. Well, I thought it was county because it said county.
Was it county? Okay, I forgot myself already.
County.
Which is even worse. Yeah.
County, okay. And it was for both city, single family and multifamily rentals. So yeah, and in St. Charles, make my single family tenants responsible for their own trash hauling, but I've always, in my multifamilies, I've always took care of it, make sure it got done. I think it's probably a good rule of thumb. But
did Kathy have any thoughts on it last week?
No, in fact, Kathy wasn't on. Chris Basler was on, and he had not heard when I mentioned that to him. If he had an update on that, he had not heard about that, so he wasn't aware of it. So he didn't help on that.
He's mostly out, St. Charles anyway. So okay, thanks.
Yeah, he doesn't handle the county. He handles the St. Louis City and St. Charles and Jefferson County areas.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, would Bruce left a comment. Did Ann say Hazelwood is already? Yeah, I missed it. I'm sure there are some townships. Yeah, I think there was one that's already requires it, and there's a lot of the townships in St. Louis County that already require that. And this is just, if the county passed it, it would just be incorporating that requirement into the unincorporated county areas in St. Louis County.
So here's the question. I'm assuming that rents would be raised commensurate with the start of that. So is that just, would one handle that just as an addendum to your lease and just pop the rents up, or do you have to wait till the next lease cycle to, if we end up having to pick up those fees where we haven't previously? How would everyone handle that?
Good question.
Yeah, Bruce was correct. I did say that. But in Hazelwood, it has been for at least the last 6-7 years. And it actually has to be in the landlord's name. It can't be in the tenant's name at all. So, you're just paying directly. So, I don't know how the transition would, how they would transition into that. But like I said, when at that particular time, years ago, I just received a letter from Hazelwood saying that, I am responsible for the trash now. So I had to call, the trash and just sign my name on the trash. So it'll probably be something like that.
Okay, do you
So
recall?
I'm assuming you just raised the rents commensurate with what you are now having to pay for the trash service, correct?
Well, yeah, within the next lease, I did increase it, yes.
Oh, but you waited till your next lease period. You just didn't do it based on those charges coming through.
Absolutely, yeah, because I mean, it would be kind of difficult to, change the lease or just mention to the tenant that, okay, I want to raise it because of that. So no, I just waited.
May I say something?
Okay.
Sure, go ahead, David.
So this is not my legal opinion, it's just my opinion. That if your lease already says that the tenant's responsible for the trash, then they have to pay it. It doesn't matter who they pay it to, they have to pay it. So there's no need for an addendum,
Perfect.
no need to increase the rent. They are still liable to pay
Okay.
it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and that's what our state's that. So that's perfect.
So, yeah,
Cool. Thanks.
we just pay, if the county requires you to pay it, then they would just have to pay you. We just
Pass it on.
That's a
send
great
it-
point, David. We've done that for years because the trash, the sewer, all that stuff, normally the tenants, they may or may not pay it to begin with, but they end up not paying it more often than not. So what we've done, the past just automatically, it does say that in the lease, but then automatically have that worked in with your monthly amount. And then that way you're covered. If you need to raise it anyway, there's no need for addendums and all that stuff. That just sounds like extra chaos, as far as confusion with the tenants.
Mhm.
But I would just have it included. I think that's
That's what we do with MSD.
Right.
We notify the tenants that here's your MSD bill, we add it to their ledger, so it just says they're responsible for it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
all we do.
Yeah, because even with the MSD, because it's difficult to collect from them, saying that, okay, I paid for the trash, now you pay me. That was just, unquestionable. So I just, waited and just added it in.
Yep. Great point.
That's fair. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else got anything for us today? Well, if not, I don't know. It's got
Well,
any-
I'll ask David another just general question. What are we
Sure.
seeing, in the St. Louis County area? Are rents still increasing, or are they starting to flatten out a little bit, or what's happening just in the general rental market?
They're still increasing. That has not slowed down yet. I imagine it will, but it hasn't yet.
Okay. Curious. And are we hearing any, it's interesting because I just, scanned some various news outlets and starting to hear a lot more, just little bit of Twitter about rent control because of the, accelerating rents. And is there anything popping up like that in the St. Louis area? Sorry, I haven't been here for a while.
I have not heard of anything, but I can tell you that Missouri Realtors, part of our advocacy, that is one thing that we're watching for, to make sure that rent controls don't go into place.
Okay. Yeah, starting to, I was actually listening. I think there's some stuff on CNN, about renters protesting and wanting to see some sort of rent control being put in nationally. And it's like, that's going to be interesting to see if that starts to gain even more energy.
Question about old MSD bills. Are you talking about what kind of bills are you talking about? Are just overdue? Are they judgments? Are they liens? What are you talking about, Bruce? Lien. You can hire if it's lien, if it's what you mean. You can hire an attorney. My experience is, though, with past old ones, they can get in there and negotiate, but you're going to pay the lawyer probably as much as they're going to want. But they do add on every month. This stuff doesn't go away. There's no good answers because they can't turn it off. They can't turn your sewer off. So I don't know. We used to, when I was a mortgage broker, we had to pay off a lot of those, and a few times the people would get an attorney. But it's there's never a good answer with it. I mean, you could, if you got something on a property, it's usually with vacant properties too. I know on some of the free properties I've gotten over the years, somebody has not paid like the sewer bills for 5 years. That's all, that stuff doesn't go away. It comes with the property. You've got to figure that in with your bottom line most of the time. So they're just, MSD is just one of those things, you got to pay your sewer bill. And that's where you're just talking about the tenants. I've had tenants pay it for a while, but it just ends up where, after a while, they just end up not paying it because that's like what the first bill they don't pay because they can't turn it off. They'll pay the water bill. They might pay the trash bill, not always, but the MSD bills, that's the ones I've had the worst, at least the most challenges with, I guess I should put it that way. But,
Yeah.
liens are liens. They'll put a lien on.
Yeah, in St. Charles County, and my one place I had in St. Peters, it was part of the Duckett Creek sewer district. It had water from one company, the sewer bill from another company. That was the one that they continually got behind on, and I had to, but they would notify me when they weren't getting paid. So I kept pounding it until I got it paid. And again, I probably, in retrospect, I probably should have had, that included in the rent, paid the water and sewer, because there were two separate companies out there.
One of the things we used to do, Bruce, when we were like refinancing or getting people to buy homes with big MSD liens, one of the things that I've done in the past, being a third party person without an attorney, but I would give them a very specific amount. If they have like $5,427 or whatever, I would say, look, I'm the mortgage broker and this is what we have left to work with. And I would give them something very specific, like we could give you $2,972.12. If that works, give me a deed of release and show me what you're going to do. And then we'll do this all at once in closing. That's a pretty good tactic you may try. But being a third party is always better than you being emotional on your own lien. That's just what I found. It works on other things too, with other collections, but liens are just one of those things you got to deal with. You want a deed of release, you got to deal with them directly, but you might try very specific amounts and then spell out very specifically what you want them to do with the deed of release on there to release the lien. That's something you may try depending on what your situation is with it.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea, John. Okay, anybody else got anything for us? Hey, I see Melissa's able to get with us today here. Yeah, missed you I wasn't here before, but yeah, I was here last week. You were here. I know you've been busy doing estimates for roofs that leaked from a
been crazy. But every week I'm like, I want to hop on here because I feel like I'm learning so much from everybody here. And yeah, it's been insane. So thank you to everybody who's reached out to me.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully you get a break to come take a look at one of my roofs. I talked to you, was it yesterday or day before?
Yes.
Anyway, fortunately, it was that one big storm where I guess it was blowing the wrong direction and came in through the ridge vent, because it didn't. They're little. We had about an inch and a half earlier. Was it this week? Yeah. And no leaks from that one. So okay. Anybody got anybody else? Going to be a short day, quick day here today. If nobody else. I don't have any.
Okay, I have some.
Go ahead.
I have something, John. Yeah, I'm trying to be patient. Waiting for boards. So I need a master plumber. I have a plumbing job, and they went Boris Plumber. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. But so they went out and, looked at the problem and said, okay, they're going to repair it, but it has to be done by a master plumber. So it's been 2 weeks and my tenant is, patiently waiting to get her sink, up and running, but they said they're so busy. So I mean, I guess this is just the time that plumbers are busy. It's kind of hard to get someone. I mean, they have a regular plumber, but they need a master plumber to do this job. So any suggestions?
Where's the home located?
Guess where? You might know, Melissa, in Hazelwood.
Oh, okay, perfect. Call my friend Austina. The name of her company is Ambassador Plumbing. And the phone number is 636-383-6932.
Okay,
And,
let me just
yeah,
repeat this,
just-
636-383-6932, right?
Yes, and I'll
Okay.
also text her and let her know to expect your call, okay?
Okay. And I know you have been really busy.
A little.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
it's kind of crazy on plumbers. We called a month and a half ago to have a hose bib repaired, and the earliest they can come out is September.
Oh, my.
So
See?
it's just
Oh.
like not.
So yeah. What is it about plumbers now? Is this, I guess things are going on that just require, a lot of plumbing work. But yeah, I've been waiting for 2 weeks and I've worked with these guys for a long time and they've always been, like on it. But now for some reason it's taking a long time.
Hmm.
What's that name, Melissa? Can you put that in the chat for us, please, with the contact info?
Sure, yes.
That'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I suspect there's a lot of drain backups during the big high water event, flash flood event. And there may be a lot of plumbers out there trying to correct things that they can do. A lot of it's MSD and the main sewer companies, but there probably are things you can put check valves and things in your sewers to stop those kind of backups.
Well, yeah, because there was a main leak on that street and that's when the problem started. So
Mhm.
I guess, like you said, water drains, yeah.
Yeah, so are there. And I know there are, I know my son bought a house last fall down in Afton, and I was a little surprised. I never had a house that had one of those valves in it, but his inspection report showed up that there was something that was put in backwards in the valve, and they found it. So he had a plumber out or the seller had a plumber out and corrected that. He's got a little valve, was a little box underneath the floor of the basement that like a check valve to make sure the sewage only flows one direction.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I know in some areas actually required. I'm not sure if it's required in that area in Afton. It's not real hilly. It's a pretty flat spot where he is. It's not a low area, but you might take water to drain out. So, yeah, anybody else got anything? I want to share any status of the projects they're working on.
If anybody wants to, if they're looking for something to do Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, I don't know if you remember Tom Painter. He was with Robert Allen back many years ago. They were here in St. Louis, and they did the challenge. That's a book we give away for our new members.
Mhm.
And Tom's the one that actually did the coaching for the real estate people. He's got a foundation. It's successandmoneyfoundation.org. And there's hundreds of people. He does education programs. You can look them up, successandmoneyfoundation.org. And it's a nonprofit organization, and they do a lot of charity work overseas, a lot of people in the Philippines and just different places around the world. But I'm going to be doing a little segment on there. going to be launching a challenge, a 90-day challenge for people to do like their first real estate deal or another one. And some of the people, it's with the children that are involved, they're going to be doing like their first 500 pesos or something through real estate, stuff like that. So we're kind of working on that, but that's something I can send you a link on that if you're interested. But what they do is you actually, there's thousands of hours worth of education on there. I mean, it's got everybody from, of course, Robert Allen, you got Mark Victor Hansen, he's got some Warren Buffett stuff. I mean, it just goes on and on with all the different education on there, but you get they'll pay you money for doing it. I know my grandson and we each did it when he first set it up several months ago. It's actually been on there for about a year, but several months ago. And he actually sent us money, $250 just for watching this stuff. And you have to donate it to a charity of your choice, or to maybe it could even be your church or whatever. And we can bring this to our group if we want to set this up. And that's something I've been kind of looking at if we wanted to do that. Because it is a really good foundation. They actually donate a lot of money. I just always had them just go ahead and apply our donations back to what they were doing, which was eyeglasses and surgeries and things like that for some of the third world countries. I know there's a lot of stuff we can do here in this country, but you're not limited. It's to the charity of your choice if you watch the stuff. And there's some really good lots of good education, but there's also a lot of downloads and stuff. You get a lot of free books and some other things like that too. So if anybody's interested in that, I'd be happy to send you out a link to that to check it out. But that's something that's that it's pretty valuable, and it doesn't cost anything either. And if you do have an organization, a church or another group or something like that, a school, there's some high schools around that really they're pretty competitive too, because every week they do this every Wednesday and Thursday, but every week they show who the top leaders are and things like that. So, I mean, you can get some you can get some awards, but you can get some money even for just watching it for the hour and a half or whatever it is every week. He'll pay you like $2, send it to your PayPal account, and that's money to put in your investment account. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but some of the kids, man, $2 could be a lot of money, you know. So I mean, it's just, but it gives you an incentive to do this. So that's something, if you're interested, I'd be happy to send you a link to that.
Yeah, John, this is Diana. Would you send a link? I'm curious about that.
Sure.
For,
I'd be
for
happy
someone
to.
I know.
Uh-huh.
That'd be great. Thanks, John.
Sure.
Yeah, that might be something we can talk about at the next board meeting to do something with our organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good way to get young people involved too with investing, because it's not mainly about real estate, but it is, you know, that's obviously a main segment. And when people are accumulating wealth and looking at things, you know, to improve their life, he does talk about the stock market and you know, some other things too. But I'm going to be on there for a segment on real estate. So it's a lot. It sounds like a lot of fun to me. It's going to be more challenging because I've only done stuff in our country. So it's going to be, we've kind of looked up some stuff in the Philippines. I don't know how it works over there. So that's going to be kind of interesting. And I believe though, people are the same everywhere. So we're going to look at just finding the what I call the non-wanters, because I guarantee you there's people everywhere that have the same issues. We're all people, this, you know, as far as the same things that come up with, we have divorces, deaths, all kinds of stuff happens. So, you know, I think off-market properties, which is something I've always really looked at, I think is what we're going to look at with the group. So anyway, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be. I see also, let's see, Tim put another plumber, I guess he's used or plumbing. He put in the chat 314-398-0034.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, you got that? Okay.
And thanks, Melissa.
Another suggestion.
So regarding that, the keeping of records, I found the statute from the MREC Real Estate Commission, and it's only 3 years. Now that's all we need to have to be audited, but that doesn't mean that's what we should destroy them after 3 years. Actually, there's argument that you should destroy them after 3 years so they can't go back any further. But there's also the argument of if you get into a situation, especially like in real estate sales. Did you know that if if a buyer finds a deficiency in the house that was not disclosed and should have been disclosed, that they can change the value of the property, that they can sue you. There is a statute of limitations. It's 5 years. But what's odd about that is the 5 years is from the time they find the defect. So they could be in the house
Oh,
for
you're
10
kidding.
years. They could be in the house for 10 years, find out that, hey, when you sold this to me, you did something strange to the sewer system or plumbing or what, whatever it is. And they have 5 years from that time to sue you. So
That's almost in perpetuity.
that's
It could be 30 years later and they could theoretically find something.
that's an odd statute, but that's what it is. Because I was in a class ran by an attorney, and that came up, and he goes, "Yeah, statute of limitations is only 5 years from the time they find the defect."
Wow. Well, how would one prove that you were the original homeowner, if you call it that, were the cause of that defect?
It doesn't matter.
How
It doesn't matter. You're the one that sold them the property, so you sold them a defective property.
got it? Perfect. Life gets better and better.
Years on his records that he did not have, because I think he had them back 10 years. But the auditor kept digging into stuff and he couldn't come up with receipts. He ended up settling that in their favor. So I don't know. I would not be in a hurry to get rid of any records these days, because I know they're just hired a bunch more basically auditors.
Yeah.
They're going to start combing through everything. So I would just be cautious about getting rid of any records right now. Like David said, though, the electronic, I know one of the things I've been doing, because I'm trying to get rid of my paper files too, because I've got very limited space, and I'm just taking pictures of them now, of my documents, and put them in the file. It's not a regular document, but it's got the signed document, the pictures of them. And I don't know if that'll help. It does take up more space. So what I'm doing with my pictures is I'm exporting them and then reducing the size of the file. So that's how I'm kind of doing it. But I don't know if there's a good answer on how long. And one of the things with the IRS and with everything, they always leave it subjectionable. So you can argue, and it's a litigation point. Is it 5 years? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Or is it, like in my friend's case, is it 20 years? I don't know. They went back over 20 years auditing his stuff. So I don't know what to tell you other than I would keep it, just keep what you can.
All depends on what the definition of is.
Exactly. And if they like you or not, because I know in the case of the guy I'm telling you about, he just told the guy, I forgot what his exact words was. It was kind of reminded me of Martha Stewart when she went to jail, though, calling the guy a little pipsqueak or whatever, that you're not going to get my stuff. And I think he did something like that sitting in the office, which is another reason I would never even talk to those people. You'd have your accountant talk to them,
Yep.
So I don't know.
Perfect.
Just good luck with all of it.
Were they real estate transactions that they went back 20 years on? Because I know you're never supposed to get rid of any of that, or was it personal tax stuff?
This was business, just personal. It was business, personal, and his business. He was in the insurance business, and there was I don't even remember what all the questions were. It didn't matter. His wife was in real estate, and they just tore apart everything.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they say to save all your records for 7 years, and they can go back and request those for 7 years. But if they find something within those records that doesn't look right, that they're questioning 7 years, that's when they can come back and say, "Oh, this is in error here. So you must have been doing this in the past." And so then I think they can go back. If you're all on the up and up and everything is clean as a whistle,
Buttoned up.
7 years is plenty, but yeah. And they can always, depending on who your auditor is, they can always dredge up some, find a flaw if they want.
Yep, you're right. Okay, well, thanks, David, for looking that up.
Yeah, appreciate it. Another one of our good resources here, most every Fridays. Okay.
John, you were talking about reducing your file size. And So what I do is I use Google Drive for my filing system. Do you use that at all?
I do when I have to. I personally don't like it because that's another thing that, I use it in a couple of the groups I'm in, but yeah, I just make copies of them a different way, but yeah, that's a great idea right there. I don't like the cloud
It's a
either,
great
even though I'm in there.
Not very private. I mean, it's so easy to get hacked. That's why I would never use a Google Drive or anything like that. We try and keep everything out of the cloud and offline if possible.
I understand that too. That is a worry.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid the cloud these days, as there's so much stuff, even if you're not putting it on the cloud, somebody is.
Yeah.
Else's, yeah.
Companies are putting your information out on a cloud. So.
So we try not to help. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, I know. I am too. I'm maybe not quite as cautious as you are, but yeah, no. I've got a 5 terabyte drive here sitting on plugged into my
Yep.
That's my cloud, my personal cloud here on my laptop.
And then that's backed up by another one, hopefully, just in case one goes down, then you've got a backup of your backup.
Mhm. That's where the cloud would be nice for backing up with your backup. So.
Yeah.
And hopefully you never need it.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else got anything? See a lot of people requesting or saying they're interested, John, in your invite for next Wednesday. So.
Don't have the right link. I'll get it though here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, anybody else got anything? Anything more you want to talk about? If not, I don't have anything more. We can call it a day here. Get out and enjoy a little weather. It's supposed to be a pretty nice day today. Humidity's down, so. Okay, well, hope to see you all, or as many as possible, at next Tuesday on the 18th. If you got your on our mailing list, you got your newsletter in your hand. We got the picture of the McMiller brothers here right on the cover of our newsletter. It should be a fun, entertaining, and a little Ted Drews for refreshments. So hope to see you all there. If not, see you back here next Friday at 11 o'clock. Okay. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Okay. Thank you.